Today we're at a 5,000 square foot shingle and TPO roof replacement. There are 3 skylights that we have to flash around. I believe we're changing out, and then also there is a chimney flashing that we're having to change out and change around. There's some rotten wood, and we're jumping into this thing. So here we have some of this is like the accessory materials for the job. So specifically we have this. This is the peel and stick underlayment. So this is going to go on the entire roof. It's going to cover every square inch of it. And if I take it out here, I'll show you a little bit of it. So see, it's got this asphaltic piece right here. That's what the shingles are going to sit on. When this piece peels off, that right there is sticky. You can see it sticking to my hand really well. And when that sticks to the deck and then the Florida sun heats that up, once it embeds in there, it can't go anywhere. So in a windstorm, even if the windstorm blew up a few shingles, it can't blow that piece. Also, that tar, it seals around the nail. So then this nail actually has tar sealed around it. So it's a really good secondary water barrier for shingles. This is a ridge vent. So that's gonna go on the entirety of the ridge. They open up a slot to make sure that the air can get out, and then that's what's gonna ventilate the home. These are just cap nails, so that's how the peel and stick underlayment is going to get held down. But that's some of the stuff that we stock at our shop to make sure it's always high quality. And more importantly, that it's here right on time in the morning, because our process is we like to cover the roof up with peel and stick first, and then the supplier truck comes in with the real heavy stuff, which is the shingles, and it's able to load it right on top of the peel and stick. That way our guys aren't moving it 2 times. It just comes right on and then right on top of the peel and stick. So, one thing that I noticed right off the rep on this roof is look over here. So, they didn't have this section opened up for ridge ventilation on this house. When we do it, we're gonna go ahead and open up 1.5 inches on either side for the attic to breathe and ventilate better. Also over here, same thing. So, over here we can see that they have the attic actually opened up for the ridge ventilation. But then it stops right here. So then all of this potential area for ventilation isn't being utilized, and the entirety of the perimeter of the home's soffit has air able to come into it. So there's a ton of intake ventilation, so we're able to have that amount of outtake ventilation. So we're gonna add that in for the homeowner. That's gonna keep their attic way, way cooler, especially here in Florida when it gets 100 degrees during the summer and humidity. That's important. That's gonna lower the AC cost, but that's also gonna increase the lifespan of the roof, because all that hot air tries to trap and tries to get out through the plywood seams and such. That'll age the plywood quicker. That'll also deteriorate the shingles quicker from the hot air trying to push from underneath. So one thing that's vital on a roof is its flashing details. So like on this particular roof, where we can see that there's a nail right here, nail right here. These nails are too close to that location on the flashing. You want your fasteners further out on the edge in this area, so that way when water comes in and then it's sealed, it can't leak anywhere. So with this flashing, they're gonna change this flashing out over here. Ugh. And there really isn't much rust on this one, which is a good thing, but just to be safe, they'll go ahead and change it out. Another thing is that this siding, it's like out of a composite or a particle material. It's really not heavy duty. So I'm gonna let the project manager know to let the homeowner know that expectation wise, this is a potential for issues. Look right there, wind-driven rain goes in there and it's able to have access. So this is something that it's separate from the roof. We have to set expectations on, because it can impact the roof over time, and water can look like it's leaking from the roof, but it's actually leaking from something above it like this. Also, if we look in here at the chimney cap, which has rust on it, also this is called the storm collar, and then I can see the chimney cap piece that comes up right here opened up. So wind-driven rain can drive right there and go in there. Once water is there, it is now in the envelope of the home. That's it. It's in the envelope as soon as it's inside of that piece right here. So this is pretty rusted out. You know, it isn't, I don't necessarily see that it's rusted through anywhere yet. There's a piece of wood we got to change out. But it's certainly getting there. So These are just the kind of things that, you know, we're the expert on, not the homeowner. So we have to let the homeowner know about this kind of stuff. So I'm gonna let Tyler know and make sure that he lets the homeowner know and goes over these risk factors. I'm also gonna talk to the sales rep and make sure that the sales rep did that initially, because that's a part of their process. So, you know, but nobody's perfect, and we're constantly always trying to get better every single day at how, you know, we identify all issues and then communicate them to our homeowners. So, okie dokie. So as we can see right in here, this actually looks like a combination. This looks like some water damage, but also some termite damage. You can tell it's termite damage when you see the wood all opened up into small holes there. So that's where they crawl in, they nest, and they eat the wood away. So all of these rafters and this subfascia and then fascia has to get changed out and replaced, right? And that's something that on any one of these crews, we have at least one guy, if not two, who are really good carpenters who can come out here and then go ahead and sister and restructure all these small pieces together. That way, when we put the roof on, we're putting it over something that's solid and something that's decent. Also, right here, let's go a little further this way. Right here, if you look in there, Jeff, that flashing detail, you'll see the rust on it. So that's something right there where we're gonna change that piece out, and we're gonna have a new galvanized metal flashing that comes down and then comes out. That way, that's gonna be brand new with the roof. And that's important because that redirects water away from that roof to wall transition at the end of that gable where the flat roof meets the sloped roof. When you see a screen on here like this is something they actually do that you can do to prevent rats and rodents from going down and inside of your vents, which I'm glad that they did here. Although one thing I see, if we look right here, if you look right there, the lead actually ends at the top right there. So water in this case was actually able to rain and go in between the lead right there. So that part of this was not done well. But anyway, we have options that we offer where we also can put guards over to stop squirrels and rats from entering in, and also from eating that lead, because squirrels like to eat the lead and their other materials that they won't eat at. Yep.
I'm dumb, know nothing about roofing.
Yeah.
What are they doing right now?
What are they doing right now? Okay, right now they're changing out damaged wood. So there's some damaged wood right in that section that he's working out. And then they're prepping. They're prepping. So they've gotten the old roofing off. We hear the nail gun going off. That's the guy re-nailing the wood deck. So the wood deck has to be re-nailed every 6 inches on center with 8D ring shank nails. And that's going to go ahead and hold the wood deck to the joists, to the rafters better than the original codes that they've had. So like on this roof here, you can see there are staples. You see there originally were staples, and it looked like somebody added in some nails here, but those nails are old, right? So when we come in and look right here, all there is staple, 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 staple. So when we come in, we're gonna re-nail the deck 6 inches on center if it's not currently to code. That way it's solid. So that's what we hear going on there. Otherwise, they're cleaning it and getting the deck all solid and then prepared for underlayment to go on. There was a bit of bad wood on the roof deck when we opened it up, and Tyler communicated to the homeowner, and he's pretty frustrated about it. So this always, whenever we have this happen, it can be an expectation setting issue from sales, just not making it clear enough how that can work. But anyway, what we were able to do is initially the crew was thinking about 12 to 13 sheets of plywood from first glance. The homeowner was really pushing back. They looked at everything and they figured out a way we could get it down to about 8 and still have the roof in really good shape. So those 8 sheets of plywood they're replacing and taking care of. Also what we're doing is we're giving this homeowner just a little bit of a better rate on the wood just to make sure he's satisfied, because he was frustrated about it, about the extra cost. So that's what we're doing right now, and then that's the wood we just saw we were taking up to the guys so that they can get that bad decking replaced. It's very important because the city inspector is going to come here at the end. They're going to go through photos. That has to be just right for them, but also for the roof's integrity. That wood is the nailable base that all the shingles, all the underlayment all gets nailed into. So if it's not right, then the roof isn't right to that degree. So it has to be anything that's rotten or damaged. We have to do it brand new because the roof needs to last for 20 years. So. Today, they should be able to get the entire roof dried in with new peel and stick. and then tomorrow it's going to be shingling. So when we come here tomorrow, we really should be into shingle mode. So we'll go over kind of how the guys snap lines and lay out their courses, lay out their layout for their shingles, and then how they go about actually stair-stepping them, they call it, and then nailing the shingles off, how they complete their valleys, and then also getting into the TPO, because they'll be laying out the TPO flat roof, and that process will be happening tomorrow as well. All right, day 2, so we've got the entire roof dried in. So now the guys are basically starting their shingling process, and then also around details and kind of starting to wrap stuff up. That brown drip edge that the homeowner picked, I really like that color that he picked along with the brown shingles, and it just really blends on that house nice. So we're gonna get up on the roof and look at some details on the shingling. So on these skylights, we're actually taking all these old skylights out and then we're replacing them. So we're gonna be replacing all of this flashing and then the skylight itself, which we saw down below. So these are called curb mounted skylights. So all that means is there's a 2x either 6 or in this case, I believe a 2x8. Then there's this flashing piece and then the skylight just sits over the top. So in replacing this, we're gonna pull that off, pull that flashing away, and then we're gonna install new flashing. And then the new, instead of this cheap kind of plastic material, which you can see, I mean, a tree branch or something in a hurricane, we'll just go right through that. So the ones we're gonna install are Velux, and they're actually tempered glass. So that glass, you know, a tree branch can fall and hit it, wind can blow on it. It's gonna be a lot stronger and a lot sturdier. So all of these skylights, as well as those 2 on the flat roof, are getting changed out with that. Okie dokie. All right, but then, so they're getting ready to get this flat roof going here. So they're getting it prepared. First step is installation. They're gonna remove these skylights. You gotta remove the old roofing still, and then they're gonna go installation and then TPO. Very key on this is the tie-in here. So they have to get the TPO up 2 feet from this point up to about there, up and underneath that peel and stick. So then when that peel and stick comes down and the shingles come down, we're well over, because those tie-in points can give problems. So that's key. You know, over here, the pool, they got it covered. This is important. That way, little granules and such like that. I've had jobs where the pool didn't get covered, and what happens is granules, not nails necessarily, but just little granules and little pieces of shingle debris fill up the pool filter and actually destroy the pool filter. So you have to pay for a new pool filter, and then obviously that's a bad experience for the homeowner. So any job where we have a pool, we have the guys have a tarp or a plastic wrap, and they just go ahead and cover that entirety of it. That way, any accumulation of debris can't get into the pool filter. All right, so right here we're installing a solar attic fan. This is an awesome product. We have it sitting right over there. But anyway, with this, we want to put it 5 foot, about 4 to 5 foot off of the top ridge line here. And then when the sun gets hot on it, it's gonna act as active ventilation. It's gonna pull from here at the top and from the bottom, and it's gonna, all the air is gonna come out of that solar attic fan, and that really works to cool the home down. So yeah, we have the unit sitting right there. That's a 40-watt unit, very heavy duty, that we install, and we warranty it against leaks for the entirety of the roof, and then it'll function also throughout the entire course of the roof. So a really good option, especially in Florida. If you have an open house like this with lots of sunshine, then that thing can just go, and then it can really cool your home down. I have it on my own house. A lot of my family members have it. Lots of our customers use it, so that's cool. So this is the ridge vent that we were talking about yesterday before it was actually done. So this is really simple. All it is this is just a heavy duty piece of plastic, right? And it's designed so there's baffles that actually let the air out, but also enclose, and it gets really tight. That way wind-driven rain can't get in there. And remember from yesterday, where we're actually cut is right about there where my finger is, about 1.5 inches on either side. So our cut is all the way there, so you know, water can't travel that far back, and the plastic is actually there blocking it from blowing that way. So wind-driven rain can't get in, but the hot air is able to get out. And then these shingles are just simply nailed, 2 on each one, and then there's a tar strip, just like a normal shingle. When the sun hits that, it activates it, and then it gets it on there nice and tight. But these guys did a really good job on this one, actually, of having the vent laying really nice and smooth. Oh God, you're good. The guys did a really good job on this of having the vent laying nice and smooth. A lot of the times with these, if you don't do it just right, you'll see little dips and bubbles in it. So the guys did a really good job the way they laid that out. So they're gonna continue shingling these guys. They're gonna work on the flat roof. When we come back, we'll be able to see the flat roof done. And we'll be able to see the skylights all installed. And then the final phase of this project, we're gonna have some specialists come in to replace the siding around that chimney. Out here, you know, we just wrapped the roofing portion up on this one yesterday. So I'm just cleaning the side right now. You know, I asked Tyler how it's going and everything. He said it was going good. He said he had to come here and clean it up. I said, man, yeah, I'm out here with my truck really quick. I'll grab the stuff really quick, you know. That's the thing with like a business like roofing. It's like teamwork. It's like, how can we be elastic and help each other out? Yeah, I'm the owner of the company. Maybe it's not my job, but I'm here. I got the truck. Let's get it done. Let's help our team member. And you know, I find that kind of stuff is important. The more that everyone on the team can have that mentality, you know, we can really do great things together, right? Because being there to help each other, and being elastic and being willing. So anyway, but I was just chatting with this homeowner, Denise, and she's really happy. You know, and it comes back to the crew, like Armando's crew. They've been with us for years. They're just solid, right? They just 7 guys, show up on time. They don't mess around. You know, replace all the wood that's needed. They get their sheet of what has to get done, and they just knock it out. You know, the Solaric fan looks good. The drip edge is tight. Like, you know, if you look at like, you know, their drip edge, look at this detail. Like, look how clean that is. You know, and you don't notice this kind of stuff, but you'll see on a lot of homes, you know, the drip edge, that detail right there is out. It's all pointy and stuff, right? But they could just do a good job with their little things. It's nice and straight. Right here, they got a 4-inch overlap. Florida code is at least 3 inches. They're well over there, right? Let's see how we're doing here. Sun hasn't baked this on enough to strip that in yet, but that tar strip will lock into that starter strip over time. So, you know, really, really happy with the guys and how this one came out. Okay, so today's technically day number 3. Really, yesterday was day number 2. That was wrap-up day for these guys, right? So the shingles are all done, all installed, all the ridge vents, all the details, the flat roofing is done. So now moving forward, we have a few extra pieces happening. So we have on Tuesday upcoming, the chimney siding is going to get replaced. We're installing new vinyl siding. So I'm just going over that detail with the homeowner and kind of how that's going to play out. Then the other thing is gutters. We have gutters getting installed on May the 1st. So they're going to have brand new gutters. I'm assuming they're going to be brown, right? So that's going to look beautiful on here. And the last thing was we're going to spray paint around some flashing details around the skylights to make those pop and make those look a little bit better. So those are kind of the 3 pieces, but I was just with the homeowner talking with him. She was really, really happy. You guys did a good job. They were clean, simple. So really happy with them on this one. And then now we just have a couple little details, kind of accessories on the project that we're wrapping up, and we'll be all done.
We built the sky. First time perfect, no need to retry.